Welcome to the Heritage Ledger. Today, we are conducting an architectural autopsy of Rajasthan's political awakening. From 1918 to 1948, the Prajamandal movements transformed a landscape of isolated autocracies into a unified democracy. Let's explore how it happened. Our story begins against a backdrop of severe economic exploitation and a dual autocracy. Citizens were crushed by up to 84 distinct localized taxes, collectively known as Lagbag. This included extortionate levies like the Chawri, a wedding tax, and Talwar Bandhai, a succession fee. The masses were subjected to widespread begar, or unpaid forced labor, alongside a complete absence of a free press or peaceful assembly. Oppressive legislation like the Jai Ram Pesha Act criminalized entire tribes. Meanwhile, local rulers acted as loyal vassals to the British Crown, completely insulated from the welfare of their own citizens. Between 1918 and 1927, the root system for a statewide political awakening was planted. In 1918, Jamnalal Bajaj and Vijay Singh Pathik founded the Rajputana Madhya Bharat Sabha in Delhi. This served as the primary bridge connecting isolated princely states to the Indian National Congress. A year later, in 1919, Pathik and Ramnarayan Chaudhary established the Rajasthan Seva Sangh in Wardha and Ajmer. This group provided active grassroots leadership, directly guiding the Bijoliya and Bagan peasant uprisings. Finally, the All India Princely States People's Conference, founded in Bombay in 1927, institutionalized the demand for fundamental rights across all princely states. What exactly was a Prajamandal, or People's Council? It rested on four key pillars. First, civil liberties, demanding freedom of the press, speech, and assembly without state retaliation. Second, responsible governance, seeking a democratic, constitutional framework under the umbrella of the ruler. Third, social reform, actively campaigning for Harijan upliftment, women's education, and the eradication of untouchability. And fourth, national integration, aligning localized grievances with the broader pan-Indian independence movement. The movement adapted differently in each state. Take the Jaipur model, originally founded in 1931 by Karpur Chand Patni and Jamnalal Bajaj, and later reorganized by Hiralal Shastri. This model was defined by diplomacy and division. Under Path A, Hiralal Shastri negotiated the Gentleman's Agreement with Jaipur Diwan Mirza Ismail. The Prajamandal agreed to stay out of the Quit India movement in exchange for the state's promise not to arrest rebels and to form a responsible government. However, Path B emerged in August 1942 when disgruntled leaders led by Baba Harish Chandra rejected this compromise. They formed the Azad Morcha to aggressively participate in the Quit India movement. In Marwar, survival required relentless rebranding to await state bans. The movement evolved from the Marwar Hitkarini Sabha in 1918 to the Youth League in 1931, the Marwar Prajamandal in 1934, and the Marwar Lok Parishad in 1938. Spearheaded by Jainarayan Vyas, activists faced extreme censorship and special court trials in Nagaur. During the 1942 Quit India movement, the state cracked down hard. Jainarayan Vyas was placed under strict house arrest in the remote Sivana fort, while other leaders were imprisoned in Jalore fort. Mewar took a path of direct confrontation. Established in April 1938 at Balwant Singh Mehta's house, with Manikya Lal Verma as general minister, the state instantly declared the Prajamandal illegal. Leaders were exiled, and Bhurelal Baya was confined to Sharada fort. The literary spark came from Verma himself, who wrote the incendiary book, Present Rule of Mewar, while exiled in Ajmer. By October 1938, direct satyagraha began. The severe police crackdowns were so brutal they drew criticism from Mahatma Gandhi in the Harijan newspaper. By August 1942, the Prajamandal delivered a brazen 24-hour ultimatum to the Maharana to break ties with the British, triggering mass arrests. The Bikaner Prajamandal was a geographic anomaly. Due to brutal local suppression by Maharaja Ganga Singh, Vaidya Magharam was forced to establish the organization 1,500 kilometers away in Calcutta in 1936. Tensions escalated when activists distributed the Bikaner Digdarshan pamphlet in London to expose domestic tyranny, leading to the Bikaner conspiracy case in 1932 which imprisoned leaders. The resistance climaxed in violence on July 1, 1946, when state police fired on a Prajaparishad procession in Raising Nagar, martyring a young activist named Birbal. To this day, July 17 is observed statewide as Birbal Day in his memory. The Prajamandals utilized a broad spectrum of tactics. On the diplomatic end, states like Jhalawar saw rulers actively supporting responsible governance, while Jaipur relied on negotiation. At the grassroots level, Dungarpur and Banswara focused heavily on Bhil tribal rights and Harijan upliftment prior to making political demands. On the aggressive front, Mewar issued direct ultimatums, and states like Bikaner and Bharatpur engaged in open clashes and faced lethal state-sanctioned firing. Sacrifice was recorded across all fronts. On the eastern front in Dholpur and Bharatpur, influenced by the Arya Samaj, tensions led to the Tusamo incident on April 11, 1947. Police opened fire on a peaceful assembly, martyring Pancham Singh and Chhattar Singh as they defended the flag. Down in the southern tribal belt of Dungarpur, led by Bhogilal Pandya, the focus was on forest education. This culminated in the Rastapal incident on June 19, 1947, when state forces tried to violently close a school. A 13-year-old Bhil girl, Kalebai, was gunned down while successfully saving her teacher, Senga Bhai. Let's summarize the Big Four. Jaipur, founded in 1931 by Bajaj and Shastri, was defined by negotiation and a factional split. Marwar, formalized in 1934 under Vyas, was defined by institutional networking and surviving extreme exile. Mewar, established in 1938 under Verma, utilized direct satyagraha and bold ultimatums. And Bikaner, formed in 1936 by Vaidya Magha Ram, relied on external pressure, functioning out of Calcutta while facing lethal crackdowns. Women were essential architects of this resistance. Janki Devi Bajaj was elevated to president of the Jaipur Prajamandal in 1944 and later became the first Rajasthani to receive the Padma Vibhushan. In Mewar, Narayani Devi Verma defied the crown by going to jail alongside her 6-month-old son to sustain the satyagraha. Ramadevi of Marwar and Jaipur, widowed at 11, boldly defied bans in Bijolia, famously declaring, "Till the atrocities on the farmers stop, I will keep coming here." And Kalebai of Dungarpur elevated the right to education to a matter of life and death. Journalism was the nervous system of the movement. Tarun Rajasthan and Rajasthan Kesari, edited by Pathik and Chaudhary, operated from Wardha and Ajmer to bypass bans, acting as the voice for peasant uprisings. Riyasati, edited by Sumnesh Joshi in Marwar, famously exposed the covert plans of the Jodhpur monarchy to align with Pakistan. And Lokwani, published in Jaipur by Devi Shankar Tiwari in memory of Jamnalal Bajaj, kept democratic ideals alive during the Quit India era. Before 1942, these battles were isolated. But the Quit India movement brought a unified demand. Synchronized under the All India Princely States People's Conference, the goal evolved from responsible governance under a king to the complete abolition of feudalism. Ultimately, the rebels became the administrators. Hiralal Shastri of Jaipur became the first chief minister of Rajasthan. Leaders like Manikya Lal Verma and Gokulbhai Bhatt transitioned from exiled prisoners to state architects. The Prajamandals successfully engineered the transition from 19 disparate feudal autocracies into a single, unified democracy. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment if you enjoyed this quick revision.